Each week we have different people come in. They might be elected officials or appointed officials or people who are helping run this county and the state, and they talk about who they are. It's not a question we're asking hardball questions. It's a question where you went to school, who's your spouse, what are your children doing. So in the future, when you need to deal with them on a professional level, you can simply say, yeah, I know that guy, and he might have gone to the same school I went to, and it's kind of create a relationship where we can serve you the best we can. This week, we're delighted to have State's Attorney Lance Richardson. Lance, thank you for being with us.
Thanks for having
me. And this is part 2. I think we did this 5 years ago. So
Has it been that long?
It's been a while.
Wow.
And since I think the last time I saw you, your kids have gotten older, right, and growing up.
Right.
My waistline's got a little wider, but you're doing a great job as State's Attorney.
Thank you.
So how about we do this? For those that don't know, born and raised Queen Anne's County.
Not born,
but
most of my life. I was actually born in Louisville and moved here in elementary school to Kent Island and went to Kent Island Elementary.
Oh, mom and dad from, I totally missed that last show. Mom and dad from Louisville or what?
It's a long story.
Oh, don't go.
My stepfather's from Denton.
Okay.
His folks ran the sale barn right on 404. That's now sort of a junk emporium.
That's all right. That's where the money is in junk,
right? That's right. When he finished law school, he moved us out here.
Okay.
And so I grew up on Kent Island.
Okay.
Great
Now
place.
talk about Kent Island Elementary. Favorite teacher? I remember 5 years ago I asked this, but I forget. Any favorite teachers?
They were great teachers at Kent Island Elementary. I know I went back to the middle school recently, and Mr. Apple was still teaching.
Jim Apple, bless his heart, will be there forever.
Amazed that he was still in the game, but good to see him. Miss Jefferson, I think, is maybe still around. She was a reading specialist.
Okay.
So very.
Linda Jefferson? Yes, okay.
Yes.
Right.
And middle school at Stevensville Middle. My son is now playing soccer for the Centerville Middle School team.
You're kidding me? Okay.
And we were down on Kent Island yesterday for the big game. The middle schools play each other, and it was interesting to go back.
Who won?
It was a tie, 4-4.
That's the best ending. Best ending. Okay, I like that.
They didn't think so, but it was a great game.
Okay.
So, but Stevensville Middle School was wonderful, and when I was there, it was being renovated, and now 30
it's being
years
renovated
later,
again?
It's being renovated again.
Some things don't change.
It's like deja vu.
Yeah,
so,
okay. So you went to Queen Anne's County High School.
Queen Anne's County High School.
We were talking before we went on the air, names like Merv, Doherty, and other.
Sure.
How about some memories from the high school? Were you a sports guy?
Yes.
Or a theater? Okay.
Loved soccer.
Soccer player, okay.
Soccer.
Okay. What position?
I was a sweeper, central defender.
Okay, so you ran all the time?
No, you stay in the back, you don't have to run so much. That's the advantage. The midfielders run all the time.
They run themselves to death. Right.
So, and I wrestled. Coach Schipple, great coach, great guy.
What weight?
167.
Okay.
A few pounds ago.
That's all right.
And played lacrosse.
So you're a three-sport guy, all 4 years, 3 sports?
Yes.
Good for you.
Coach Campbell was, and now I see him driving everyone around the
Teaching
students.
the whole county. He'll teach your son how to drive if he doesn't have a license yet.
Well, my daughter's in high school now, so he'll get her first.
It's coming out. What was, to remind everybody, Coach Schipper, who we tragically lost to Lou Gehrig's disease.
Yes.
And we've named the stadium after kind of a local folk hero, right?
Right.
Great coach?
Fantastic. Great guy. Great person. It was funny. He was all 5'5", and I was 6'2". But I used to have to wrestle him all the time.
Oh, he was a bear. He was a bear.
He was a powerful man.
Okay. I saw Andy break up a fight occasionally when I talked with him, and he would put a bear hug on, and no one got free, right?
No, tree trunk legs and...
Strong man.
Yeah, but it was a great high school. It still is. I'm glad to send my kids through the public school system. I thought I got a great education, and I think they are getting a great education.
Good.
A couple of those teachers are still out there.
Who's still out there?
My daughter has Miss Weiser for Spanish.
Peggy Weiser, language,
so I had her for French.
Okay.
So I'm amazed she speaks 2 languages
French,
besides
Spanish, English.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
And it was tough enough just to master English.
And you were living on Kent Island?
I was.
So you had the long...
I lived all the way down Route 8, so I had
Lord.
a 26-mile commute each way.
Lance, they don't know how spoiled they are.
They don't.
It used to be people from all ends of the county came to Centerville, and that was a long
The
trip.
nice part was you knew everyone in the county that was your age.
Made you close.
But I think they all know each other still nowadays with social media.
Yeah, they're Facebooking and Twittering, whatever the heck they do.
Instagram. So these kids rival schools, but they seem very familiar with each other. They
Now,
follow each other.
Yeah, you were in high school, wanted to be a lawyer then, or
No. I wanted to be a teacher and a coach.
You're kidding me,
and somehow it all got derailed.
Our loss. That was a shame. Okay. Now, where did we hit the undergraduate school?
University of Maryland.
College Park.
Yes.
We're Terps.
Oh, yeah,
fellow
absolutely.
Terps. Okay.
I didn't wear my red sweater today.
Well, this is my
That's it.
Fred Rogers mandatory red sweater.
good
So you go to
stuff.
College Park, have a
Correct.
major right away, or no?
I was a history major.
Okay. All right.
Because of Mr. Thoren's influence.
And that's put a big plug. And I missed that. One of your favorite teachers was?
He was, Rick Thoren was,
Okay. Wonderful soccer coach, wonderful
he
history
took over
teacher.
the soccer program after I was done. I
You
didn't
had
get to play
Coach Baird?
I sure did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
And so I loved history. That was my favorite subject. But I still see all these teachers around. Like, they've moved on to the board, many of them.
Sure,
But I see
sure.
Mr. Waits.
Willie
and,
Waits, great science teacher.
I never liked math, but Mr. Newton was phenomenal.
Bob Newton, the toughest teacher in Queen Anne's County. People used to tell me Bob was a wonderful teacher,
Yeah.
but don't you dare goof off in that class.
No, not at all. Everyone was referred to by their surnames, Mr. Richardson, and it was all business.
Mr. Newton made a great teacher and a great principal, did a good job.
Yeah, I was a
Okay.
complete clown, and that's the one class I put
You didn't
straight.
clown
No, I did
Nobody
not.
did. Teachers would go in and say, yes, sir, Mr. Newton. Okay.
Yeah, he was great.
So, and here's the good news. When this gets on YouTube, I'll make sure Mr. Thren gets it, who's now sitting in the sun in South Carolina playing golf every day, Lance. I want you to know.
Well deserved. He put in a lot of years. He earned it.
You're
Absolutely.
A lot of people says, so okay, we go to College Park.
Right.
You're a history major.
Right.
Any extracurriculars there? Or?
I was in a fraternity, very
Oh, yeah,
active
okay.
in that, because Maryland, as you know, such a huge school.
40,000+.
You have to find a smaller group, and played a lot of intramural sports.
Okay.
Did not play for the college. I wish I had, but I got there in the fall of '86, right after Lynn
86.
Bias had died, and it was the
When
worst of
everything was
times
confused,
for
yeah.
our football coach took off and went elsewhere, and so for the sports there wasn't a lot to cheer about.
A couple weak years for College Park. Right?
Sure
Okay.
was, but
So-
great school, great experience.
So fraternity, and you graduated with a degree in history.
Yes,
Any particular, you still read a lot of history? Or?
as much as I can. Unfortunately,
Your job doesn't give you a lot of downtime.
well,
does it?
it's funny. I read quite a bit, but usually fiction and
Escape stuff.
homicide detective stuff.
Oh, good stuff. All right.
Stuff I'm interested in, stuff I deal with. So.
Okay, all right. So, okay, great. You College Park, get a degree in history. You knew the next step, or what? What did we do?
I thought about teaching,
Okay.
and at the time, I think there was a glut of teachers, especially in the social studies history field.
Right.
So my stepfather's an attorney. He encouraged me to think about law, and I went to law school at University of Baltimore.
Okay.
Excellent school.
Living here in community?
No, I moved to Baltimore City.
All right,
Little
okay.
culture shock. Lived
Yeah, from
downtown.
Kent Island. Yeah, but it was, now, full-time student? Or?
Yes.
Okay, full-time law student.
And I also worked as a night clerk at a hotel in Fells Point.
Oh, Lord,
full
there's
time.
stories you can't tell on the air, so
Oh,
we'll
yeah,
skip
you're
that
correct. But
Okay.
I saw some things. It was a nice hotel, but Fells Point was a party area.
Oh, yeah.
But I worked from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. 5 nights a week.
one.
I
And then you
studied,
went to law school.
and I did. I was sleep deprived,
I
but
bet you
I
were.
studied at the desk after I got all my bills and things straight, and got my degree. I really didn't enjoy law school. I just
You're working too hard.
working too hard, and it wasn't anything similar to college. It was no social aspect to it for me, but I love what I do now. I never thought taking the theoretical from law school and applying it to now criminal law. This is fascinating
Okay.
stuff.
Now, we'll spend a lot, but let's just go back to law school 3 years.
3.5. The first year I
Okay.
started as a night student, then
Okay.
transferred full time.
All right.
So 3 years is standard. I want an extra semester just to catch
You
up. my
probably had
credits.
no life for that schedule, did you? I mean, if you're working the late shift,
I had
studying, going to law school, right?
I had 2 nights off a week, so
Okay.
I'd try to get out when I could.
You probably don't get 2 nights off a week now, do you?
Oh, it's manageable.
Okay.
This job is manageable.
Now,
so.
tell me, okay, so we got our law degree in, when about 90? When'd you get-
94.
Okay, 94. Back to Queen Anne's County, or what'd you do?
First year I was in private practice in Easton with my
Okay.
stepfather for 1
Okay.
year.
All
Started doing conflict cases for the public defender's office.
All right.
Thought that was fascinating stuff. They offered me
Now,
the-
what conflict?
basically if there's multiple co-defendants and they need an additional outside attorney to handle a matter, they would refer those cases to me.
Okay. All
And I
right.
started doing more and more of those cases, and then they offered me a staff position.
This is in Talbot County.
No.
Oh, no.
Centerville.
Oh, here. Okay, here.
Came back to Queen Anne's County.
Who was it? No, it was
Stephen
Judge.
Skip was the
Oh.
district public defender.
Okay.
Judge Souse was our circuit court judge.
All right.
First day I went to court with Judge Souse.
Oh, that would have been fun.
All my clients went to jail.
Judge Souse has an interesting reputation. That'll be another show. We'll do. All right. Okay. Oh, so you practice a year with your
Stepfather.
stepdad. Come back here.
Correct.
And day one, Judge Souse. Good
Right,
luck. Okay.
Right. I was thrown to the wolves, but I learned under fire.
Now tell me, just for the layman, why does a person pick? I mean, public defender, private practice. What is it just career tracks, or is it just that you like the battle of what?
I found criminal law fascinating,
Okay.
and private practice, it has its obvious advantages, often financial advantages, but it wasn't all about the money. I wanted to do what I enjoyed, and there were many people I was able to help as a public defender,
Okay.
gain great experience, enjoyed trial work. When I was in private practice, I really didn't enjoy family law. When you're talking about custody disputes and divorce, I'd rather deal with
There's just one interesting. Yeah.
criminal matters, or contractual, probate. It's, to me, dry and somewhat
All right.
mundane. I'd much rather be dealing
So,
with.
and that's a lawyer. I mean, that's a choice a lawyer makes.
Correct.
Right? Hey, I mean, some people specialize, whatever it might be, contracts, real estate,
You have
whatever.
your cerebral, brilliant people
Okay.
that do patent law. That's not me.
Okay, no constitutional issues here. Okay,
No.
so you get your foot in the door here.
Right.
Now, how long are we working?
I spent 7 years actually as an
Okay.
assistant public defender.
You and Judge Cradaville. At some point, did Frank Cradaville? How did that?
Yeah,
Yeah, give me the
that's
timeline of who you're working for.
Like 95, I began with the public defender's office, spent 7 years. Judge Cradaville came over to the state's attorney's office as an assistant state's attorney under Chip Gregory,
Right.
the then state's attorney. And then Judge Cradaville ran against Chip Gregory in 2002 election. Judge Cradaville won, offered me a position to come over as one of his deputy state's attorneys. So I accepted that position, and then I've been in the state's attorney's office ever since.
Now, state's attorney is again. Do you specialize? I mean, do you how big? I mean, we'll get to. I mean, do you specialize within the state's attorney's office or
We
not?
do.
Okay.
We do. I mean, we handle all criminal matters that occur in Queen Anne's County. But within the office, I have someone who specifically is designated a drug prosecutor.
Okay.
We have someone who mainly handles child abuse, child sexual abuse matters. So we do have a prosecutor who handles juvenile matters.
Some people are more comfortable, more interested.
Correct. And I
Okay.
typically handle the most serious felonies, the murders, the rapes, the robberies, the manslaughter,
The
drunk
boss gets-
driving.
Yeah, that's it.
So
Let me just get the timer because we're gonna spend some time, at least half the show, talking about what the state's attorney is and does. So
Right.
you're with Frank gets elected.
Correct.
Judge Cradaville, and then you served under him how many years?
6.
6 years. Okay.
And then he won his first term, 4-year term. Second term, halfway through, he decided to run for Congress.
Okay.
So thanks to his ambition, my career has really moved along.
Okay, so you just now are you appointed when he ran for
Yes.
Congress? Okay, you're appointed for a
Judge
while.
Ross, the circuit court judge, makes the appointment.
Okay.
And in this county, there's only one circuit court judge. In larger counties, it's a consensus of the judges.
want.
They choose. So I applied along with a couple others. Judge Ross appointed me. So I finished up the 2-year term.
2-year term.
Ran, was reelected, and just ran again and was reelected. So I'm starting my second full term.
Okay.
So
You might be there forever. You're a young man.
I'm happy to stay there as long as they'll have me.
Okay.
So-
Now, help me out, Lance. So the average citizen like me says, I have no idea what a state's attorney does. Tell me what the office does.
Sure.
An umbrella here. Who all is there and what services for the public?
Okay, there's 4 prosecutors besides myself.
Okay.
In a larger jurisdiction, state's attorney's often an administrator, but I go to trial, go to district court every week, and I handle a lot of cases myself.
You're a hands-on lawyer as
Yes.
state's attorney.
That's the beauty of a smaller jurisdiction. You get to do that.
Okay.
And then we have 2 victim witness coordinators who apprise victims and witnesses of court dates, whether they're needed. We have 5 admin and one chief of staff who manages the budget. He serves as an investigator.
He's doing everything. Director of operations.
Things. Yeah, I've actually reduced the staff from what I inherited, and just cross-trained people to do more.
Do different things.
Correct.
And we just want to remind everybody, office is located right across from the courthouse.
It is.
In Centerville. And I think soon to be moved where we're speaking. Is that still planned?
That's still the plan.
Okay.
They're going to level us to build the new circuit courthouse.
Okay. It has a whole town buzzing. It would be great.
Correct. And we're going to keep the old circuit courthouse because it's historical, and many people have worried that that's going to disappear. It will not. Yes, so we're going to be here in the Liberty Building, which is great.
Very convenient. Be good.
But the State's Attorney's Office prosecutes crimes from the most petty, even some civil citations for animal control and for zoning, all the way up to murder. So anything in between, robberies, burglaries, rapes, assaults, thefts, anything in between. We did have many marijuana cases. That's been decriminalized, small quantities, but still over 1,000 drunk driving offenses last year. Many cases flow through my office. The state police, sheriff's department, Centerville police.
You're like the citizen's lawyer. You're my lawyer.
Yes,
you really
in some
are.
places it's the people versus the government. The state's attorney's office represents all of the citizens to make sure we prosecute and hold accountable those who break laws within Queen Anne's County.
So you deal with state police, City of Centerville Police,
correct.
Is that correct? Sheriff's Department,
Transportation Authority. They have Kent Island covered these days, the Transportation Authority Police.
Okay.
They enforce a lot of traffic and other matters. So yeah, multiple agencies, and any state police that are traveling through the county can make stops and arrests. They have statewide jurisdiction. So we get many cases for individuals who are not our local residents.
Okay. Someone going through the county and commits a crime.
Sometimes they come to the county to commit a crime. If they come to the outlets to shoplift, we try to get the word out that we don't play over here. Stay away. Judge Cradaville has filled up our detention center. We're overflowing. We're shipping them out elsewhere. So we're a conservative jurisdiction that we don't. If you want to bring stuff in here, there's going to be a price to pay.
Pay the price.
Right.
Now the average citizen. How do I interact with you? If I haven't, is there a reason I would call your office and ask for help or not?
Well, one way you're going to interact is serving on jury duty.
Okay, and that goes through your office?
Yeah, the circuit court has a jury administrator, but if you get called for jury service and you're going to serve on a trial...
Oh, you deal with your
right,
staff,
I'm going to be presenting a case to you as a citizen. You may serve on the grand jury, which is 23 citizens who are presented...
I was on it. I thought that was fun.
It is fascinating.
That was fun. We went out to the
detention center.
We got a steak dinner and a tour. I thought it was fun. Yeah.
And otherwise, if you're a victim of crime, and it can be, I meet people through all kinds of interesting circumstances, but as simple and innocuous as you go to a restaurant, somebody backs into your vehicle, damages it, and then leaves. They catch the person. You're going to be my victim. You're going to come to court. I'm going to say, Fred, what are your damages? Insurance covered it, but my deductible was $500. I'm going to seek restitution. I'm going to seek prosecution of the individual who fled the scene. That's just one small example. Anybody who's a victim of theft, assault, etc., I deal with those victims. You'd be amazed at what we deal with.
Oh, I bet you do.
Victims of Twitter abuse, of email harassment, telephone harassment. The spectrum is very broad.
Well, and that's a good lead-in. Thank you. Where is the I always ask all my department heads, where's the future? I mean, you and I were talking about the iPhone before and Twitter. Where is the future of state's attorneys going? I mean, is it still the speeding, drugs, robbery, or are we getting more cybercrime?
We do. Well, a lot of times the technology is intertwined with the criminal offenses. With drug dealers, technology is often used, downloading their phones. I don't want to give away all our secrets, but a lot of people who watch these true crime shows, they come away with it saying, if I'm going to commit crime, I'm not going to take my phone, use my phone, and technology factors into it. The way the criminal justice system is going, we're going to be paperless. It's all going to be electronic filing and technology. With technology comes technology-related crimes, identity theft, things of that nature. It factors into many, many things. And
so as these get to be a bigger part of our lives, we're going to see more and more crimes.
There's more and more crimes related to
Yeah,
technology,
yeah.
videotaping people without their consent, photographing people, those sort of things. So yes, whenever the criminal offenses are always behind the curve, trying to catch up to technology, and
Sure.
legislation to create new crimes for the technology that's out there.
Lance, I also saw the department head. As our state's attorney, is there some advice you'd give to citizens in terms of, hey, if you see a crime, report it, or if you are subpoenaed, there's some things your office would like to say, hey guys, we're here to help you. Here's some things you can help us with. Are there some obvious ones?
Well, part of the beauty of Queen Anne's County is when there are victims of crime, when there are witnesses, they step up around here.
Yeah.
You can go to some
Well,
of your
neighbors, right? Yeah.
Right. Well, some of the city urban dwellers. When there's a shooting, when there's a crime, everyone scatters and the police can't find any witnesses. In Queen Anne's County, if there's a horrible motor vehicle collision, we have people stick around and we get statements, and we have people that come to court.
So they help the whole investigation.
Absolutely, and they're responsive. We have good citizens. They come serve on the juries. They care. Of course, you have a few that are annoyed to have to miss work, which I understand, but in general, yes, if they see a crime, if they know of drug activity, report it and we take action on that.
And another thing is, if your office does call because they need help, maybe you're listed as a witness, not to be nervous and not to be afraid. Your staff knows how to deal with people to keep them calm.
Absolutely.
Okay,
We're public servants, and I believe we should serve.
Okay.
And I believe we should return phone calls and all those things, and we do it.
And you did great. Most people, when a lawyer calls them, or a state's attorney, or investigator, they panic.
Right.
They need to know in Queen Anne's County, like you said, you're here to serve, you're here to help, and they'll get you through the process. Don't panic.
Correct. And we have victim witness coordinators to explain the process, but I meet with victims all the time and explain the process and try to make it less stressful. Let them know that trial can be adversarial, it can be stressful.
You can get some tough questions if you're sitting up there in that witness box. Right?
But if you prepare them for what's coming and explain it to them, it can be a much less painful process for them.
Not a problem. Lance, let me ask you, if people do want to contact your office, websites or phone numbers, can you share those with us?
Sure. We have a Queen Anne's County State's Attorney website. Email is very simple, like everyone in the county. Right. L. Richardson at QAC.org.
And that's all confidential. If somebody...
If they need to email me, they can email me. Absolutely.
Okay.
Call the office, and they'll get a call back.
Okay. And the one thing I can assure everybody, Lance, having dealt with you as a citizen with the Board of Ed or whatever it might be, I find you and your office just helpful. Hey, friend, thank you for that information. We'll do our job, and yada, yada, yada.
We do the best we can.
Which is
certainly.
good.
Yeah,
Which is good. Lance, let me just ask you, when you get in here, I call it the dungeon, with the studio,
right?
This will be a bigger and better area because you'll have parking. Or what's the theory behind the move? Just, you have to, because the building won't be there.
They had to level our building to make way for progress. And we were going to go out to the new county office complex, but logistically, we needed to be close to court.
You can walk to the
walk back and forth. So proximity is everything. There's many days I'll walk back and forth a half dozen times. If
now that spring's here, we can do it, right?
Right.
Yes.
If you're a mile out of town, it's not feasible.
Okay.
You come and stay, but you forget something or you need something, go back to the office, grab a laptop, whatever it is. So
this is going to make sense.
We like being in town.
Now, Lance, with the end of the show, wonderful daughter and son, I believe. Am I correct?
That's correct.
Okay, and one's a cheerleader. I see on Facebook, proud mama.
Yeah.
Now, tell us, you don't have to give her name, but how about the cheerleading? Is it just that she travels all around the country?
She's a competitive cheerleader and cheers for the high school. She's a freshman. She's very accomplished, fantastic gymnast. It's given her a great work ethic. Very long hours of practice. I'm extremely proud of both my kids. They're my pride.
And Mama puts pictures on every day.
She does. She does love to share the pictures. And so much work goes into it that when you see the results, you're proud of it. You want to share it.
Well, good. Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, Lance, look, thank you for coming back. Now, we want everyone to know, Lance, since we originally scheduled, was it pink eye, colds, you and I, we froze, we had everything. So I've
been through it, but persistence. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad I made it.
And I think it's nice in the community we have someone who's grown up here and someone who's approachable, which I think is real important. I think you and your office do a great job. I'm looking forward to you have this spacious downstairs basement. All right, Lance, thank you very much for coming.
You.
And I do want the audience to know this show gives everything to our guests.
Right.
This April is National Soft Pretzel Month, and aren't you delighted we gave you a soft pretzel?
I appreciate it.
I'm sure I'll be summoned as a witness on that. All right, okay.
You got it.
Lance, thank you again.
Thank you, Fred.
I'm Fred McNeil. You're watching QAC TV, and we've been with Lance Richardson, our state's attorney, talking about what his office does and insights to him and his organization. And he does encourage you as citizens who are watching the show, if you need to deal with them, call them, email them, and they'll help you any way you can. Okay? I'm Fred McNeil. My time's up. Thank you for your time, and we're going to see you next time.